A planning issue which has been contentious for several decades is beach access. The leader of the opposition raised it in his presentation. Every administration has committed to creating a policy framework to improve and increase Jamaica's access to our beaches. Today I am tabling Jamaica's new beach access policy. The Beach Control Act of 1956 and its amendments in 1973 did not adequately address beach access issues and will have to be replaced, and the new policy is the first step in that direction. The policy focuses on developing a modern, inclusive definition of a beach and definition of the foreshore, backshore, and water shelf, outlining how the government will improve access, outlining the required legislative amendments, and outlining changes to the consideration for new development approval. Madam Speaker, another element of the policy is developing a framework around investments in man-made or constructed beaches. At the time of the 1956 Act, man-made beaches were not contemplated. I mean, obviously man-made beaches have been around a long time, but it was contemplated as an endeavor in Jamaica. I think now we have to integrate that into a new framework of managing our beaches. So the policy, Madam Speaker, affirms government's commitment to ensuring that Jamaicans have access to their natural public assets in an orderly, safe, equitable, and sustainable way. Madam Speaker, we want to once and for all end any ambiguity, dispute, or any view that Jamaicans are being dispossessed and disconnected from accessing their beaches. Madam Speaker, last year, we signaled our intention to continue the journey from a minimum wage to a livable wage. And we indicated that the next step would be to increase the minimum wage to $18,500. However, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, many of our businesses are rebuilding, many households are still recovering, and the economy is now navigating yet again another external shock in terms of energy prices and shipping costs. In this context, the government believes it is important to strike the right balance by continuing to improve earnings of workers while recognizing the realities employers face. We therefore propose a measured increase in the minimum wage from $16,000 to $17,000 effective July 1, 2026. This does not represent a departure from our long-term policy objective. The government remains committed to transition from a minimum wage to a livable wage, and as economic conditions stabilize, we will continue the phased increase necessary to realize that vision of the Jamaican worker. So, Madam Speaker, July 1, 2026, the minimum wage will move from $16,000 to $17,000. We continue to make the investment in lifting wage levels because ultimately we are going to have to address the productivity issue. Madam Speaker, we are not a nation that has had it easy. We are a people forged in the fire of history, shaped by struggle and suffering. We know in our bones, in our blood, in the memory carried across generations, what it is to be tested, Slavery could not break us. Colonialism could not diminish us. Poverty could not extinguish us. Debt could not define us. COVID could not stop us. Hurricane Gilbert could not silence us. And Hurricane Melissa, the most powerful storm this earth is capable of producing, could not and did not defeat us. Beyond any doubt, we have proven resilience as a nation. But resilience, Madam Speaker, is not our destination. Our test now is the harder one, the test of whether we have the vision to see in the rubble of what was the foundation of what can be. The test of whether we are bold enough, disciplined enough, and united enough to take everything we have endured and turn it into everything we deserve. To not merely survive, but to soar, to thrive, to move deliberately, decisively, and together from resilience to resurgence. Madam Speaker, I believe we are equal to that task. I know that we are equal to that test. I believe it because from the farmer I met in Westmoreland, standing in a field stripped bare by Melissa, he is already talking about how he is going to prepare for his next harvest. I believe it because of the mother who cleared rubble with her hands so that her children would have somewhere to sleep, not waiting to be rescued, not surrendering to despair, simply doing what Jamaican mothers have done across every generation of our history. I believe it because the young entrepreneur who lost everything, but who is ready to start again. These are not exceptional Jamaicans, they are the typical Jamaicans. And that is the most powerful thing I can say about this country. Jamaica's greatness has never been in our size or our resources. It has always been in our people. The fastest humans on earth are ours. The most recognized music in the world is ours. The most resilient spirit in the world is ours. Madam Speaker, history will record that Melissa was the strongest storm to ever strike the island, but history will also record something else, that the Jamaican people, that the people of Jamaica were stronger than the storm of Melissa. We have proven that we can withstand. Now it is time to show the world that we can build. A Jamaica where every Jamaican in every parish, in every town, in every community on this beloved island can look at their country and say with pride and with certainty, this place was built for me and by me. And I was built for this place. That is the Jamaica we are building. Madam Speaker, this remarkable, irrepressible, godless island of our beloved Jamaica is rising. Resurgence is not a promise. Resurgence is not a promise we are making to Jamaica. It is our destiny, and we are claiming it together. May God be our refuge and guide in restoring what the storm took away. And may what we build in its place be greater in strength, richer in justice, more beautiful in spirit, and more Jamaican than anything that came before. Thank you. And may God today and every day continue to bless Jamaica, land we love.